What's up, guys? It's Gabe from Team Shuffles here with another deck profile. We're out here at Ada Locals, whatever cards and games. What's your name and what did you do?
My name is Cole, and I got first place at our locals playing Altergeists.
All right, let's get into this deck profile.
So first up, the most important card in the most important monster at least, 3 of Altergeist Multifaker. After you activate a trap, you can special summon it from your hand in, I believe it's defense mode. And then after he special summoned, you can special summon him, or you can special summon an Altergeist from your deck in defense mode as well. So this will gets me to a lot of my other pieces. So that is at a 3 of. Next up, 3 Meliseek, the second most important monster in the deck. 1 star, 500 attack, but it can attack directly, and when it deals combat damage, I can send 1 card on my opponent's field to the grave, which is amazing because it does not target. So I can get around a lot of things that don't target, or that can't be targeted. It doesn't target?
It doesn't destroy, it sends, which is why it's good.
Oh.
It does target.
Last time I was playing this, whoever I was playing up against had stated that it does not target.
They were incorrect.
They are incorrect. 3 Marionetter. On its normal summon, I can set 1 Altergeist trap from deck to field. And then it also, I got to get the wording right on this. I can target 1 Altergeist card I control and an Altergeist monster that is in my grave. I can send the Altergeist card that I control from the field to the grave to special summon the Altergeist from the graveyard. So it's a very good early game if I don't have any of my traps, or late game if I'm out of key pieces in the deck and I need to get them from the grave.
Okay.
2 Altergeist Silquidus. This is a fun card. I can, as a quick effect, I can return 1 other Altergeist card I control to my hand to return any card my opponent controls to their hand. There was a lot of shenanigans with Silquidus today. There was about a 20-turn game of beat for 800 and pass. Last up for the Altergeist, 1 of Kunquiri. Very nice card. When my opponent declares an attack, I can special summon it and negate the attack, and then I can target 1 monster they control and negate its effects for as long as I control Kunquiri.
Okay.
And rounding out the monsters, 3 Ash Blossom. Put in work today.
Pretty good.
Pretty good card, even as common.
I mean, it's a common, so it doesn't negate.
It negates.
It's just trash. It just discards.
You can discard this card.
You can discard this card.
Spell lineup. Single Monster Reborn. Enables some of my higher link plays if I need to link higher, or if I'm, if all my key cards are in the grave, I can bring it back and then start cycling them back in.
You're doing 2 scoops.
2 Called By, because I haven't touched this deck since it was brought back to 3. And so I was only running 2, but I've seen them a lot today and they came in handy. And then 3 Pot of Duality, helps speed the deck up, and I refuse to play Pot of Desires. So that is why I'm playing Pot of Duality.
Do you think about exchanging those for extravagances if you can get them?
If I can get extravagances, that would definitely, Duality would come out for extravagance, because there's a lot in the extra deck that I don't use anyway, so.
Okay.
Now for the majority of the deck, traps. 3 Personal Spoofing. Not specifically an Altergeist card, so I have to hard draw that or get it off the Pot of Duality, but it is probably the best Altergeist trap in the deck. I can shuffle 1 Altergeist I control or from my hand back into the deck to add 1 from deck to hand. And you can, 1 for 1, send Meliseek, get Meliseek. You can get the same monster that you're sending back in out, which is very good. 2 of Protocol. For the most part, Protocol sets off my Multifaker a lot of the time, or my Personal Spoofing sets off Multifaker. But then with Protocol, the activation and effects of my Altergeist on the field cannot be negated. And when an opponent's monster activates an effect, I can send an Altergeist monster I control to the grave to negate that effect and destroy that monster. 1 of Manifestation. I can target an Altergeist that is in the grave, special summon it in attack mode, and then if it leaves the field, a manifestation leaves, and if manifestation leaves, the monster that it brought back leaves. It's Call the Haunted for Altergeist. 3, Solemn Strike, because it's a special summon heavy format.
No.
1, Solemn Judgment.
It's for,
1, Solemn Warning.
there's a below it.
3, Rivalry, since the main deck is all spellcasters, and I normally never need to go into the extra deck unless it's a very dire situation. So the Rivalry helps out a lot.
One of those and from his entry today for the
2, Anti-Spell Fragrance, because I don't like my opponents to play spells, and I don't have that many in the deck anyway.
Yeah, that card's pretty good.
1 of Imperial Order. Same thing. It doesn't matter if I can't play spells, just as long as my opponent can't. And my favorite card in the deck that put in a lot of work today, 2 Mirror Force. Because no one expects it and it works.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
So that is the main deck.
Go ahead with the side deck.
Yeah.
next.
Okay. Could you text me
Side deck?
the number I need?
We have
for
a
hotel?
1 of Raigeki, in case I ever feel like I might be going second. Single Book of Moon. 3 Book of Eclipse, because it puts in work against Salamangrates. Didn't come up today, but I did play against Salamangrates, and at any point when he had a full board, it would have instantly shut him down.
It's still
2 Storming Mirror Force.
Why would you play the Storm Mirror Force?
The Storming is same thing. While it doesn't get rid of them, it will put them back in the deck. So it's in the side because just in case I would need it, but because it's shuffling them back into the deck, it's not loading their graveyard. So if they do have a monster reborn, or in the case of Salamangrates, they're not in the grave to be able to activate their effects. Single Bottomless Trap Hole.
1 of Bottomless.
1 of Bottomless. 2 Mistake.
You said those in it all today?
No. Didn't feel like I needed to side in Mistake. Torrential.
Did you use that at all today?
No. Once again, it's like I didn't feel like I was going to need it, so I did not side in Torrential at all. 3 of Waking the Dragon, because after people play against it the first time, they side in for back row removal. I only ever saw it once, and it didn't pop off, but still not a bad card for my deck. And then the 3rd Protocol in the side to round out the side deck.
All right, let's go on the extra deck now.
What?
Extra deck.
Yep.
Here comes this good extra deck that he uses so often.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Hextia, the most used card in the extra deck. 3 of on her. She gains attack equal to any Altergeist she points to, their original attack. And then when my opponents activate a spell or trap, I can send an Altergeist that she points to the grave to negate that spell or trap
There's 2 there.
and destroy it.
Yeah.
Single Linkuriboh for the Meliseek. And it's recurable with all the Meliseeks. Underclock Taker, which in this isn't bad. It can eat an extra deck slot. We have a single Mermaid and a Cerberus to go with it. If I ever actually need to, that's not that bad, and then I can set up with Mermaid and get maybe a Hextia under it, or set up an Altergeist next to it for more power. But those 2 I never really go into much. Summon Sorceress, same thing. It's here if I need it, but I normally never go into it.
Keep them on the clipboard.
Load and Sword. I can go into them the hard way by linking into them, or I have them as Waking the Dragon targets. And I actually used Load today to win a game by going into Load the hard way. And then these, which are just in here as Waking the Dragon targets, we have Borreload Savage, 2 Full Armor Masters, and an Ultimate Falcon.
All right, let's talk about your rounds now.
So in the first round, I did have a bye because we had an uneven number of players. In the second round, I played against Mech Knight Invoked, and I did get lucky because my opponent did not open well either of those two games. But with what they could do, I stopped most of it, and then just bounced and beat for 5 and passed forever. The biggest challenge was in game 2. He was sitting on Cocutus, and I couldn't do anything to get around that except for shuffling stuff back in and negating attacks until I link climbed into Borreload and then stole Cocutus and beat him to death. And that was very slow games. Altergeist is a slow deck when playing against it. And then in my round 3, I played against Salamangrates with a splash of True King, which was actually interesting, and it worked incredibly well for the player. But that one, the first game was went on for a while, but eventually he just flooded the field and got me, and I couldn't do anything against it.
He's 2 paychecks away from
Second game, I ashed his.
Well, he's gonna go to Classic Monday.
I ashed his Salamangrate Circle, and I called by his Flame Buffalo, which left him with just a Balinx on field, and then I activated Anti-Spell Fragrance, so we just went into game 3 right away. And then in game 3, he made me go first, which was amazing for me because I opened pretty decently. And I dirtled for the first turn or two, but eventually I set up to where he only had 1 monster on the field at a time, and I had a Silquidus and 2 protocols, so I just kept returning whatever he summoned. On my turn, I would beat him for 8 and then pass. And that's basically how that game went. I ended when I finally got into I ended with Multi-Faker, Silquidus, and Meliseek, and I took out his last 2,100 life points. But that was a game of beating for 800 and passing.
All right, any shout-outs?
Shout out to my boy Gabe, who played Mech Knight Invoke today.
Your boy, I guess.
And shout out to Team Shuffles. I finally won, and I'm happy that I got a deck profile. And yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. And again, it's Gabe from Team Shuffles. Come back with another Locals winning deck profile, and I'll catch you guys next time.